There is a quiet reason your life is not reflecting your potential. It is not a lack of talent, intelligence, or opportunity. It is something far more subtle and far more powerful. There are invisible mistakes that sabotage progress from the inside. They shape the way you think, the choices you make, and the actions you avoid. They operate behind the scenes, hidden inside the routines you repeat and the beliefs you protect. If you have ever felt stuck or frustrated with your pace of growth, this message will show you why. Today, you will discover the mistakes that block your success, and you will learn how to remove them so you can finally move toward the life you want with clarity and confidence. Everyone talks about dreams, goals, and motivation. Yet very few people talk about the psychological patterns that drain your ability to succeed. These patterns do not announce themselves. They do not feel dramatic. They are subtle, familiar, and often disguised as logic or comfort. You can work hard, stay disciplined, and set big goals. But if these hidden mistakes are operating in the background, your efforts will only take you in circles. The purpose of this message is to bring these mistakes into the light so you can break them and step into a more powerful version of yourself. One of the most damaging mistakes people make is trying to blend in with the expectations of everyone around them. From a young age, we are conditioned to avoid judgment and criticism. We learn to play small so we do not stand out. We aim for safety instead of purpose. This creates a life built on approval rather than identity. The truth is that progress is impossible when you shape your choices around what others find comfortable. Every successful person became who they were by leaving the comfort of belonging behind. They learned that standing out is required for growth. Acceptance is nice, but effectiveness matters more. Your life changes when you stop trying to fit in and start trying to become yourself. A common mistake is believing that fear must vanish before action begins. People wait for courage, for confidence, for certainty, for the perfect emotional state. Fear is not a warning to stop. It is a sign that something meaningful is in front of you. Successful people do not eliminate fear. They move with it. They feel the tension, acknowledge it, and walk forward anyway. Courage is not a personality trait you are born with. It is a skill developed through action. The longer you wait for fear to disappear, the more power it gains over your decisions. Once you understand that fear can travel with you without controlling you, your progress will accelerate. Failure is often seen as a verdict that declares you unworthy or incapable. This belief destroys more dreams than any genuine obstacle. Failure is not a reflection of your identity. It is feedback. It is information about what did not work. It is part of refining your strategy. When you treat failure as a threat, you stop taking risks. When you treat failure as a teacher, you grow faster than anyone around you. The most accomplished individuals in any field have one thing in common. They are willing to fail more times than others are willing to try. Failure is not a sign you are on the wrong path. It is a sign you are on a path that matters. Many people wait for a clearer path, a better opportunity, or a more comfortable moment. The idea of the right time feels responsible, but it is often a mask for hesitation. Waiting creates the illusion of strategy, but it usually leads to stagnation. The truth is simple. Momentum begins the moment you take the first imperfect step. Confidence grows through action, not before it. Opportunities appear once you start moving, not while you remain still. The right time is created by starting, not by waiting. Your environment influences your energy, your thinking, and your expectations. If you spend time with people who doubt themselves, you begin doubting yourself. If you surround yourself with people who complain, you will start to adopt the same habits. Many people never reach their potential because they underestimate the influence of their surroundings. A supportive environment does not mean perfect or comfortable. It means surrounding yourself with individuals who challenge you, inspire you, and hold you to a higher standard. Growth requires being around people who remind you of who you can become, not just who you have been. Your identity shapes your actions. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will continue to struggle. If you define yourself as someone who gives up, you will stop when things get hard. If you believe you are average, you will never pursue exceptional opportunities. Identity is not fixed. It can be rebuilt through choices, habits, and intentional repetition. The mistake is believing that who you have been is who you must remain. Your identity is a story, and you are free to rewrite it at any moment. The moment you decide to think of yourself as capable, determined, and resilient, your actions will naturally align with that belief. People focus on big goals and massive breakthroughs, but they underestimate the compounding effect of small actions repeated consistently. Success is often a slow build, not a sudden event. It grows through daily habits, not dramatic moments. The mistake is believing that small steps do not matter. In reality, your habits are the foundation of your future. Every action you repeat is a vote for the person you are becoming. If your habits are aligned with your goals, progress becomes inevitable. Many people wait for approval before they allow themselves to grow. They wait for support from family, friends, or society. They look for someone to validate their dreams. Seeking permission weakens your independence and keeps you from trusting your instincts. No one else can measure your potential. No one else is responsible for your purpose. The moment you stop asking for permission, you begin to take ownership of your life. Permission is not granted, it is claimed. Success is not a destination you suddenly arrive at. It is the outcome of daily commitment, personal evolution, and the willingness to stay consistent long after excitement fades. People often believe that success happens quickly or that it comes from a single breakthrough. The mistake is expecting a dramatic transformation instead of respecting the gradual journey. Success is shaped by persistence, patience, and resilience. When you understand this, you stop chasing quick results and start building a life that can handle long-term achievement. Self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools in personal growth. It allows you to understand your triggers, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your patterns. Without self-awareness, it is easy to repeat the same mistakes and blame external circumstances. The mistake is moving through life without reflecting on your choices. When you become aware of why you think the way you do and why you act the way you act, you gain the ability to change. Awareness creates control, and control creates transformation. Every mistake we discussed is common and deeply human, yet they do not have to define you. They only continue to operate when they remain unexamined. Once you understand these patterns, you can break them. You can free yourself from the weight of conformity, the paralysis of fear, the sting of failure, the illusion of perfect timing, and the influence of unsupportive environments. You can reconstruct your identity, reshape your habits, stop seeking permission, embrace the long-term journey, and develop a stronger sense of self-awareness. Your potential is not limited by your past. It is shaped by your willingness to see your patterns clearly and make intentional changes today. Success is not reserved for a special type of person. It is available to anyone who is willing to identify the mistakes that are holding them back and replace them with choices that support growth. Your life begins to change the moment you decide to behave like the person you want to become. If you are listening right now, consider this your invitation to begin. Take ownership of your path. Take action, even if fear is present. Redefine who you are. Build habits that match your goals. Surround yourself with energy that fuels your growth. You are capable of more than you realize. This is your moment to step forward. Your future begins the second you choose to rise.